Welcome back to the Miami Marlins franchise, Season 2. The Marlins have a 19-33 record. It's looking like another really tough season with this team. We've been hit by some key injuries, and we're still just not all that great. Injuries have been pretty bad lately. We have lost our ace pitcher, Eury Perez, and Xavier Edwards, who both could be returning during this episode. But we're going to focus a lot more on continuing to scout and get this board ready for our all-important second draft of the year. We own that number 1 pick. And as I've been reading the feedback on these episodes, there still seems that many of you think that Darryl Ingram is generational. Despite the ratings and everything falling, I saw some of you say that you have to scout to 100% plus a week. I really don't know anything about why you would scout anybody when you've already fully scouted them. I don't know why anything would change there. I'll probably look to get these profiles to 100%. But I guess right now, based off the information we have, I really like where Hank Holder is, number 2 on the board. Shortstop is a position where you don't always get great offense out of a guy. And for an 18-year-old prospect to already look this promising with a 63 and above overall range right now, I think Hank Holder is potentially my favorite option right now. He's looking for a $10 million bonus, so he is expected to be one of the best players, and that's what our scouting is telling us. I also really like outfielder Fletcher Rankin, who is 5th on our board, 74 to 92 potential. And he would give us a more well-rounded bat in the outfield to start developing. But chances are we're only getting one of them. So I'd still like to do some discovery. I know it's tougher on the position player discovery, but I'm going to keep trying. I know last year we found a lot of great options. I'm hoping we can do it again this year. This is what I'm sticking with here in Week 8. But I think we need to look at making a move. Our outfield has not been a great source of offense in the first 2 years in this series. Left field has been a big mess. Griffin Conine, despite some solid ratings and I think a starting caliber skill set, he has not proven to be that guy in the 2 years in this series. Our outfielders on the bench aren't doing much better, so I think we need to go down to the minor leagues and find an outfielder who's actually exceeding expectations. And today, we're going to be calling up one of our top prospects, an outfielder, Druw Jones. I traded Braxton Garrett to acquire him during the offseason, and Jones has tore up AA all season. I'm giving him the jump to the bigs. Now, he's already on our 40-man roster. That's the way things were when I acquired him. So his option has already been spent this year, but I want to see, can we perhaps get some production out of this 68 overall, and can he become a part of our core sooner than later? I think sometimes in franchise you have to take these chances. And in this case, we can try him out for a while, see if he's ready for it. If he's not, then we go see if he can mash a little bit more, maybe at AAA. Maybe it ends up working, maybe it doesn't, but it's time to take some chances on this team. We're going to make Druw Jones' MLB debut today. I like that he can already play really good, well-rounded defense, and he's a base-stealing threat. That offers a lot of value, even if the offense isn't quite there yet. But can he at least match or improve upon what we've been seeing there at left field? Now, we also have too many outfielders. We have to make a move here. And I just don't think Griffin Conine offers as much bench value, looking at the speed being lower, and his production just hasn't really been there, so we're going to make a move. We're sending him to AAA, and we'll bring Eric Wegeman back up, and this could be temporary until we get Xavier Edwards back. It'll give us some more depth, though, in the infield, and he's at least played well down there, so nice to call some guys up who are performing well. And that's how we'll open the day. These teams are fighting to not be the worst in the National League. We have one more win than Colorado right now. And here's Druw Jones. Welcome to Miami. Let's hope he can stick around now for a very long time. These are the top 10 prospects in the organization. Jones is our number 7. We have a lot of guys in the top 100. But I think it does, puts guys too high just because of potential when they're like a 51 overall. Wish they would kind of wait to consider those guys in the top 100 until they're at least 60. Because then they're, you know, within a year or two of making it. Jonah Bride hits a home run. Still waiting for that first AB. We're going to get Ezequiel Tovar here with Edward Cabrera giving up too early. The walks have always been the problem for Cabrera. That's continuing here into this season. From the outfield, Jones. That's a tag. We'll take it. That's an out. Is that his first career assist from the outfield? Wow, he made it just into the third inning. I don't know if Cabrera's hurt, but he walked like 2 or 3 guys in that inning. We're going to have to check on that. But now all the attention. Now we're going to take some extra time here if you don't mind. Druw Jones, first major league at bat against Ryan Feltner. And fastball misses down and in. So my expectations offensively are not all that high. I really want to see if he can develop some things at the bigs. And if we do end up getting lucky and he does produce. At the knees here, 3 low pitches from Feltner. Grounded to the right side. Good speed, but not going to beat that one out. Yeah, we're getting destroyed today by the Rockies offense. Hogan Harris not doing much better than Cabrera. Norby hits a home run. He's been on a bit of an extra base tear lately. So that's buying him more time with the low average. We're turning on that one, though. Jones hit to deep left. That's going to be extra bases. And he shows off the speed, making his way into second, standing. Just turned on a good one. It's the first major league hit for Druw Jones. By the way, I did check out the numbers on Braxton Garrett. We traded him to acquire Jones. He's doing really well this year in Arizona. Hopefully it can become a win-win trade. That's what I hope happens when I make deals here in franchise. So trying to cut into this lead and chase Feltner out of the game. That's spiked. Blocked, though, by the catcher. A lot of speed now in this outfield. You got Estieri Ruiz at the plate. He and Jones can both fly, and we're going to see... Oh, my. I do not like the new base running controls. Because in my head, I was controlling him to round third base. Really wanted to see him open it up there. Maybe I can change those base running controls, man. When I get used to something, I just want it to stay the same. I don't want to learn new stuff all the time. We're going to score this way, though. It doesn't change a lot. 6 apiece now. We're bottom 7. A little late on that changeup. We're going to have to fight back here from 0-2. And not going to happen there on a perfect slider on the corner. In the 9th inning, Rockies take a 2-run lead. And we're going to go to the field now. Dylan Coleman, traffic aboard with 2 gone. That's going to be in foul territory. Jones, great speed. He makes the catch. We should get one more trip here. 2 gone in the 9th. This is our 4th appearance. Feels like in an 8-6 game, we should have had like our 4th at-bat so much earlier. I don't know what's happened. I guess we're hitting 9th. I'm not used to just player locking the 9th spot guy. Christian Scott. Game is up to Druw Jones. No pressure here. Just worked himself up from AA, skipping AAA, and now at the major leagues. That's going to left center. Thank you for the hanging sweeper. Man, I wanted to go to second there so bad, but I know it's just not the right call. I changed my controls, by the way. There's a fixed analog option. Up is advance, down is return. And that just sounds way easier. Oh, I don't know about this one. I'm going back. Ground ball. And that ain't going to do it. Druw Jones has a 2-for-4 major league debut. Shows off some excitement. That was a perfect hit, by the way. We like the good contact, but the Rockies seem to bring that Coors Field hitting environment here to Miami. 8 runs, 16 hits, a bunch of multi-score outings, or multi-hit outings. Edward Cabrera, 2 innings pitched, 4 runs, 3 walks. Hogan Harris, no better. Yep, as I thought, Edward Cabrera did suffer an injury, a concussion actually. Out 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah, let's put him on the 15-day then so we can bring up a pitcher. But what do you do here? Because our top prospects now are not on the 40-man. Not right now, anyway. So we could start someone's major league clock right now. Or we have, like, Hogan Harris just start for 1 or 2 outings and maybe bring up a reliever. That's what I think we'll do in this spot. We're going to bring up George Soriano, who is really not getting innings down there at AAA. Before I make the change, I just want to see. He's the second long relief guy, and he is by far the least used reliever on this team. They've definitely adjusted some things with how much your relievers are getting used, and it's been more spread around. But it seems that the guys that are in that second long relief spot maybe don't get used nearly as much. If we go down to AA, Dax Fulton, yeah, his innings pitched are lower than everybody else. So maybe that's where you stash the guy who's kind of a last resort. I made a couple moves, too, with the AA roster. So, you know, when you're playing at AA and AAA, you actually have stats and your ratings are, you know, adjusted based off of that. But down at single A, it's kind of just more basic development. Players who have at least C, B, or A development are all going to get pretty much better. And that might be a good move for somebody like Starlin Caba, whose offense just hasn't produced in a year and a half now at the minor leagues. If you want to speed this up with his bat, maybe getting down to single A is the best thing for him. He's still 20. If he spends a year or 2 down here really honing in on the offense, it might be better in the long run. So I'm excited to see if we can continue to get production out of Druw Jones. I don't know if hot streaks really carry from one level to the next. But next day against Minnesota, it is a victory. Lamont Wade with a homer against a team he used to play for. And then the Twins, I think, just DFA'd him and he went to the Giants. The game took Druw Jones out of the starting lineup on me. I don't like that call. Jones plays the next day, though, and goes 1 for 2 with a walk. So pretty productive here in his first 2 outings. Max Meyer against the Twins, the Minnesota kid who went to the University of Minnesota. Not a great game against the hometown team, unfortunately. How about Emilio Pagan trying to nail down a save against one of his former teams? You know, there's no surprise we're bad here in Season 2, but I still want to see us do a lot of things better than a year ago, and we were one of the worst teams in the league at blowing saves. So I keep track of where we ranked in terms of home runs and like where we, not just where we placed, but how many we hit. There are a lot of things I'm going to compare at the end of the year. Blown saves, obviously one of those things. Ryan Jeffers lines one. Sanchez on it, 1 down. Splitter into center, that's Ruiz. And Eddie Julian, 0 for 3 on the day. Nice fastball clipping the edge. And the cutter fouled back, got him right where we want him. Down below, Pirates just promoted Walter Zhu to AAA. I like to keep track of some of the debuts of guys I recognize. Got away with one there. Lined into left. The Twins take turns hitting it to each of our 3 outfielders, and they get the tying run on. Deshaun Kiersey Jr. He is the one the Twins need. Jonah Bride. Step on the bag. He kind of fell on top of it. Marlins nail down the save. Again, the win mark we want to top this year is 51. And as of the end of last episode, I think we were on pace for like 59 wins, which is right on the border of us being a 100-loss team or getting into the double digits, which I'd also like us to do. Uh-oh, Pagan, a couple days later, has the bases loaded here against the Diamondbacks. Geraldo Perdomo. It was not a great episode for us to be facing players who were a part of that Cardinals franchise last year, and Perdomo was one of those players I had added. Nice cutter from Pagan. Now a strike away. 2-2 splitter. That's Paulie. Paulie, whose defense wasn't great last episode, but he does secure the final out here. Another save. Druw Jones, 2 for 3 with an RBI. Otto Lopez going yard. And how about Hogan Harris? I gave him the vote of confidence here. Yeah, I made that move because I was confident, not because I was desperate. 6 innings, 1 hit. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's get to the good stuff now. Scouting. Been trying to get some more players discovered. Just 1 this time around on the infield. 123 on the board. Charles Holloway. That's another option at least. 19 years old, 59 to 93 potential. Continuing to go through these right fielders, ranking at 100%, 5th on the board. Also seeing Barry Hicks rise, 61 to 86 potential. Power looks like it's a little bit lower for him, and I'm trying to find outfielders who have power, so I might still prefer a guy like Damian Kaufman. Power and speed is his game. Interesting, so John Grant just went down the board, 77 to 89 potential. And there's a new starting pitcher above him, Gerald O'Connell, 18-year-old lefty. Walk prevention solid, high hit per 9, 2 very key ratings. We're going to want more info on him. He's from North Carolina. He's a 3-pitch guy, cutter, changeup, curve, not a high velo pitcher. We'll focus on getting Darrell Ingram here to 100%, see if that potential range changes at all. I'll even scout using my better scout, so hopefully the data is even more accurate. And I'm doing it just by his region. I feel like that gets it to 100 and should be good enough, right? Druw Jones, knee sprain, just going to be out for a few days, but he's been hitting really well since the call-up. Got to go on the road now in Colorado. We'll see how the pitching goes. Immediately a 9-8 game. Can the mile-high altitude damage the numbers of Sandy Alcantara? Marlins win that game 6-2. On the same day, Druw Jones hits his first big league home run. He is now hitting .380 at the major leagues. Still very few at-bats. But Sandy, again, excellent even here in a very tough place to pitch. This is what we wanted to see. He's up to 180. I don't know if we can anticipate him going a whole lot higher and developing a lot at age 30, but we couldn't be asking for any more than we're getting. Eury Perez is still going to be injured a few days, but he can now come off the injured list, and we're going to activate him. We'll send Soriano back down to AAA, and it's possible he still misses 1 start. Oh, I accidentally simmed 1 day too far. I thought that Garrett pitched the Saturday game for some reason. We just faced Braxton Garrett, and I wanted to have that trade kind of collide there with Druw Jones, who goes 1 for 4 in this game. So my bad there. Garrett ends up going 6 shutout, 6 strikeouts. You can see the 2.64 ERA. Yeah, this trade is working out for the Diamondbacks very nicely. All right, we're jumping back into scouting now. And we want to see that range on Darrell Ingram, and it has readjusted now, 82 to 97. That definitely pushes him much higher up the board then, because before the range was showing him with maybe 89, so that last 5% did mean something for us. That puts Ingram, I think, into that number 1 pick conversation. We need some outfield talent. He's right there, and the overall range is 64 to 79. Then Hank Holder, he is still going to be ranked higher on our board, 84 to 99 potential. Holder, very good well-rounded skill set. I mean, reaction is the only thing that looks like it could start off a little bit low. But I mean, a shortstop who can hit and has good speed, he really is the complete package at one of the most important positions. I think I like Holder more than Darryl Ingram. And given the potential ranges here and age, I think you can kind of just, pick whatever you want more. But to me, Holder has a little more value just doing all these things well at a position where sometimes you have a guy who just plays great defense or a guy who can hit and play defense but is slower. So with that, I kind of feel like our homework is done when it comes to the number 1 pick. It's going to be probably one of these two guys. We have enough options there. I guess, do I finish off the deal here on Frieden? I mean, how can he be better than a well-rounded 18-year-old prospect here in Holder? I don't really see a path. But we are going to keep scouting these pitchers. We have Ryan Morcaldi popping up here at 52 on our board. He's a discovery player with a really high 90s fastball. I'm intrigued with that. Also intrigued with Marshall Burrows. Nice mustache and possibly a triple-digit fastball to go with it. We have to tighten up that potential range. And then Jim Tillman here, he's going to fall down our board, but I think there's still interest even here. Potential 76 to 86. So that tells you he's got at least like a 4 or 5 in a rotation kind of upside, maybe better. And then how about this? Michael Kirby, 62 on our board. 73 to 98 potential. This is all East Coast pitchers. And we're gonna get these guys maxed out. So we already know our best pitcher scout needs to just focus on them until everything is maxed. So I feel like then here in the East region, we're gonna get all the pitching info that we really need. Let's spend the rest of our time now focused on making sure 33 through 77 have as many choices. So here I feel like I need a lot more information on some of these outfielders. 73 to 97 potential. We have two guys here, both junior college outfield talents. Miles Hilton up first, showing good power against lefties as his signature skill. Also could have really good speed. And we'll also scout Peter Wild and see if either of these two truly have that high potential. I doubt it, but the range is good enough to find out what it is. Edward Cabrera will come off the injured list, so our rotation is just getting healthier. I haven't really talked about this too much, but Jesus Tinoco, he has been one of our best players this year. 48 innings pitched, 44 strikeouts. I think he's going to play himself into the All-Star game, and there are going to be a lot of teams that would love to bring him in for a year. So at 76 overall, I feel like he could still bring us back a pretty decent prospect there. It's hard for a middle reliever to be at a 1.3 WAR. You have to really do everything well, and that's what he's done. Good strikeout rate, very low walk and home run rate. I suppose still temper expectations based on the trade suggestions here. I don't know, this kind of seems like it wouldn't be the worst spot to go and take a chance on one of those like 50s rated players with a high ceiling who needs like 5-6 years to get there. If we can find the right guy that makes sense. Maybe I don't make that trade on a player who's already 22 and might not be 27, 28 until he hits the show, if he gets there. So I think we need to get Valente Biozzo down to AAA again, as there really isn't anybody in this bullpen that's just not playing well at all. Biozzo did hold it down for a while, gave us some good outings, so hopefully this was good for his development. Before we get into this next game, by the way, Druw Jones, with as well as he's playing, is continuing his big development jump this year, up to his 69, seeing +4 power on both righty and lefty pitchers. I'll play with him later in this episode, but I wanted to get a game in now with Sandy Alcantara, as I don't know how many more outings we're going to have with him. Feels like we're nearing a trade and the debut of perhaps at least one of our promising pitching prospects this season. I'd like to see the Marlins, end that loop of developing a couple good talents, but not enough to build a good team, so you have to send those guys out of town. Johnny Grieve has brought up his average in OPS down there at AA. Not hitting for a lot of power, but that's not really Johnny's game at all. But still on track, I think, for a debut later this year or next. Noble Meyer's numbers are slipping, and the player that gets the ultimate chance to debut this year is probably going to be whoever's rating is the best or whoever's numbers are the best. If Meyer continues to slip, then that might push back his debut. I've been seeing updates, too, throughout the year on Adam Major, who is playing well down at AA. Don't really think he's going to crack our big league rotation, but having a really good season for those that were wondering about him. And here's Sandy making start 14. He already has a Cy Young award, and he would be in the running again this season. Clipping the outer edge there. Yeah, 27 and 39. Like, we're a bad team, but we're not like a historically bad team, and that is improvement. Sandy hits 100 there on that fastball. And it's a ground ball right at the shortstop. Nice throw by Lopez. Really showed you the value of Lopez in that no-hitter when a lot of hard-hit balls were hit toward him. And Lopez handled every single one of them. But now, could there be a new top shortstop joining this organization? I know we have Starlin Caba, who's one of our top prospects. But I still think that in the draft to find a player like Hank Holder, I don't care what we have at shortstop. If it's not an all-star starter, I think I know who I want. We can also look at Caba's offensive development and say maybe he's not the right fit for us, and we can always do a prospect for prospect swap in that case. And we'll take a look at, what the organization is missing once we get through that second draft. That's ultimately kind of like what directed me towards the Druw Jones route. So far, that's looking really good. Bryce Harper threw on a 3-0 sinker. Waving is Trey Turner on the slider. Getting him to chase once again on that sinker. I know I didn't pitch with him a ton in Season 1, but Sandy feels 10 times more effective this year as he throws it to the backstop. Thank you for that, Sandy. Great timing. 3-2 backs him off the plate. 2 aboard for the Phillies. And Alec Bohm. A changeup left over the middle, sending Ruiz back, and he runs that down. That one is driven a ton. Jesse Winker clobbers the changeup. Wow, that left in a hurry. I kind of seem to even go about where I wanted it to. We lower third. Pitching to Max Kepler now, who extends his zone 3-2 again. Calling for a backdoor slider. That'll work. Strike 3. Gary Sanchez. Wow. Why did that not get called? Gary Sanchez hitting 248. He's gone looking just like Kepler. Connor Norby, another home run. Oh, what a slider. I don't trust a lot of righties to throw that in on a lefty because it almost never ends up there. But that was a thing of beauty. And now a swinging strike on 99 Heat. Can he finish him off? Yes! Strike 3. Getting ahead of Bryce Harper now. Alcantara, 1-2, just off. Yeah, this is the guy I'd want here in game 1 or 2 of a playoff series for sure. It ain't happening here. This organization has no problem developing good pitching talent. One of the reasons I chose them is because there's just such a void with the offense, and if we can develop that, then we can put together a full team. There is already enough pitching talent here to support a good big league rotation in the NL East even. But until we develop that offense, they're going to be trying to win a lot of low-scoring games. I've already traded Garrett. Sandy could be next. And another guy that I think could end up being traded at some point is Edward Cabrera, as he is 27 years old. So depending on what happens next year and how some of these prospects look, you know, maybe he finds himself in a similar spot that Garrett did. I like Cabrera, but it's clear the walks just aren't really getting any better, as Sandy walks Alec Bohm, second walk of the day. Tapped it. That's going to be an easy double play. Nick Castellanos. Deep left field, and that is gone on a slider that did not go where I wanted it to. Couple solo homers today for the Phillies. It is 2-1. Max Kepler wanted to be the next one to go yard. And as a matter of fact, he's going to be. Okay, that slider might have to get put away for the day. Not trying to tank his all-star chances and his ratings now. Not after all this development. That's a nice play behind second. Excuse me if I don't want to throw the slider again here in this situation. 2-2. Fastball. That is impossible to hit. And Sandy is taken out of the game after 5 innings. Pretty good, but 3 home runs allowed. Not his best outing of the year. We're trailing by 3 here late against the Phillies. Zach Wheeler going deep into this game. And pitching to the young Druw Jones. That's going to be sent out to right field. Should be an easy play, but did tail out near the warning track. I did bump up Lamont Wade Jr. into the leadoff spot. Just figured with his on base, it was nice to put him there. And I wanted to move Ruiz a bit down, partially so I could have guys like Ramirez hitting a little bit higher. Strike 3. Wheeler blows the 96 by him. And Otto Lopez has gotten pretty hot here in this episode. Now up to a 258 average. That one should land in the gap. Lopez is going to make his way to second base. And we'll have runners at second and third trying to rally against Wheeler. Will the Phillies go to their bullpen? They will. And they call upon Ryan Helsley. How'd they get him? I didn't want to face Ryan Helsley today. 1.93 ERA. And here's Jonah Bride. Our best against their best. I was like, why did he look so familiar? Man, Ryan Helsley traded to the Phillies. 2 on, 2 out now for Bride. Let that 12-6 go, man. It could be 2-0. The count's going to be full. Ramirez on deck. And the slider just can't lay off there with 2 strikes. Helsley ends the 8th. Now let's put in my guy Dylan Coleman here, as righties are hitting .308 against him. 20th appearance on the season. Let's see if we can knock down that average here a little bit. Alec Bohm, ground ball, will take the routine play. 96 on the heater. Let's see if we can break a bat here. Good spot for it. He takes. Keep this down now. I like his slurve. Why am I so attached to this Rule 5 reliever? That's flied for Ruiz.
It's 0-1.
Oh, what a pitch by Dylan Coleman. 0-2. And I think Jones can make that play. Druw Jones against the wall makes the catch. We go bottom 9. What a play. Didn't even crash into it or anything. That was smooth. So we'll go 4, 5, 6 now to finish things off. Augustin Ramirez still hitting .277. Oh, and he's hit. What are you doing? Ryan Helsley hits our star catcher and brings up Jesus Sanchez. Just got to make him work, though, and see if he can really throw good pitches. I don't know why I took that fastball. Connor Norby now 11 homers. That might be a team lead. We'll have to check on that. Ooh, got one up finally. One of our best pitches to hit. And now missing over the plate, foul. I mean, you usually get 1 pitch per at-bat to really hit. This time we get 2. And, okay, I've just seen too many sliders and stuff that now I just look at the fastball down the middle. Back up the middle, Ruiz with a sharply hit single. That's going to bring the tying run to the plate now. And who's it going to be? Graham Pauley. I need to move Jones up a spot. Graham Pauley's been playing every day at second base. He's hitting 187. And yeah, we're looking forward to getting Xavier Edwards back soon. Javier Sanoja. I don't know if he'll come back at any point this year. That injury was pretty bad. Oh, that didn't hit him? 102 from Helsley. We've made him throw 22 pitches. Just low, and now full count with Druw Jones on deck. He's only thrown the fastball in this AB. And it's popped up by Pauley. And we leave Druw Jones in the on-deck circle as the Phillies take another game from us. I'm bumping Druw Jones up to 7. I've been so impressed. Man, Nick Fortes just came off the injured list, and he's now going back on it. Eury Perez is back to take on the Yankees, so we're jumping into player lock to track how this start goes. He has only gotten to pitch twice this year after an extended IL stint last season. So just things have been really pushed back and delayed with his development. Oswaldo Cabrera here in the second with 2 down. I'm playing with Druw Jones again to talk about the fun outfielder we have. And Cabrera's going to send this back. He's going to be tested here near the wall. And he makes the catch. Druw Jones taking away an extra base hit. I think they made this incredibly easier to time and make a play on. That's the first one I think I've seen. Yeah, I don't know if that one was going to go out or off the top there. But a great play regardless. And now we're going to hit down to a 262 average, facing Carlos Rodon. Oh, man. A hanging curveball that he skies. Home run for Jazz Chisholm. Still just the 1 homer for Jones. That at altitude at Coors Field. Now a drive sent into left center field. That ball is run down. Pretty well hit again. Home run, Aaron Judge. Perez giving up 3 through 6, and he's taken out of the game. Not a terrible return. Ian Hamilton now in for the Yankees. Clips the bottom edge. And they just keep throwing strikes. Not many pitches here to really take. It's hard when you want to emphasize your patience more at the plate and all they want to do is throw strikes or miss. I just can't lay off a slider there with 2 strikes. It'll never happen. All right, that's a short game. Not many at-bats. And the Yankees win. Perez goes 6, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. That is a really good comeback for him. Connor Norby does indeed lead the team in home runs. Agustin Ramirez had that fast start, but hasn't continued to hit for that same power. No homers in his last 10, while Norby has 4 in his last 10 games. And of course, this has become the Druw Jones episode, and the development still looking really good. And, you know, while things are seeming to slip now, he has an 0 for 10 going on right now. Hopefully it stays good enough to justify keeping him at the majors. Let's return to scouting, though, where a couple more outfielders were on my radar, and the info looks pretty good. We're seeing Miles Hilton and Peter Wild have really similar overall in range, both junior college guys. The defense has a very long way to go if the scouting is accurate here on Hilton. For Peter Wild, also speedy base stealer, has good contact against lefties. Similarly rated, though, in the field, very low. But for whatever reason, our scouting has Hilton 54 and Wild 81 on our board. Let's scout a first baseman this time around. We have Kevin Guzman. And the power just looks way too good to not consider scouting him here. I really hope if anything stays at its range that the power sticks around. Xavier Edwards is now coming off the bench, and that's going to be a big boost for our offense amid all these cold streaks that is unfortunately affecting most of our best hitters and now Druw Jones. So Edwards will take back his spot here at second, and we'll reorganize the entire lineup, and we're going to get Graham Pauley down to AAA. Not a great stint for him here these last couple months. As I expected, now being down at single A, we're seeing Starlin Caba's ratings pretty much just all go up now. I still have our lower rated picks down at the single A level. Nelson Aiden getting a similar well-rounded boost, and the same true for Andreas Ruiz, a little more in the power department. I'd also like to point out PJ Morlando, who was the Marlins first rounder in 2024. Now, he might not be the most exciting prospect with C potential, but he can play a lot of positions. And now that we have him at AA and his production is stabilizing, now we're seeing pretty good development out of him. Getting vision and discipline up will make him more of a big league potential player. And really, if this is where he is at 62, and his potential, I think, is like a 77, I mean, he could still be a contributor. I don't see a reason why Morlando couldn't eventually be at least a bench outfielder and back up a lot of spots for us. And Sandy has now gotten himself to an 81. So that's 3 higher than the 78 he had when this series began. Why don't we check back in with first draft pick of the series, Johnny Grieve. We saw him early in the schedule, but now he's worked himself up to a 69 overall. Only thing going down is contact versus righties. But he is hitting 243, has a good on base. The slugging, you know, it's lower than his on base percentage. Never a good sign there. But with 27 and 31 power, that spot in his game has a long way to go. I don't know what a blue wahoo is, but we are 36 and 27. Our AA team kind of cooking this year. And there's Adam Major. I talked about him earlier and the success he's had down here at Pensacola. Taking on Rocket City Trash Pandas here. Johnny Grieve, 1 homer, 22 RBI. Softly hit toward third. Grieve not able to beat that one out. Johnny Grieve gets a hold of one. We're here in the third, and Grieve out of the box with extras. 104 off the bat. There's a nice moment for the first round pick. 9th double on the season. His ratings against lefties have been looking pretty good, so this was a good time to jump in. And then P.J. Morlando is going to hit behind him. 0-2, though, with 2 gone. Left on left. That is spiked in the dirt, and I haven't seen one of these worth running on in a while. Morlando, that sounded good, but it is caught. Uh-oh, Adam Major just gave up a 5 spot in the 4th. So we're going to have some work to do. Oh, we're trying to rally here at the tail end of the game. 2 in the 9th. And we got runners on for Johnny. Well, 1 runner. And again, swings ahead and misses the slider. Rocket City wins the game. Johnny Grieve goes 1 for 5, but we got to see a nice double. Having a rough week here at the big league level. And we don't win an entire game here. We're on a nice losing streak. That's 7 straight for Miami. Can't believe the Yankees are, what, 34 and 43? I don't know what's going on with them in this franchise. We're starting to fall further back here, 28 and 49, and the Diamondbacks being down here with us. I didn't see that coming. But we are close to the end of scouting as Patrick Reyes is going to fall down our board to 110. 35% motivation. I don't know if we continue scouting him. But Kevin Guzman's going to stay around 37, and the power looks more and more real. If we're going to consider taking him, though, top 40, I'm going to want to get probably 100% on him. And we're going to scout Freddy Krueger now, who could go in that same range. Contact against righties looking solid, very good vision. And we're still not done, unfortunately, getting the starting pitchers to 100, so I don't think that scout is going to be able to help us out with any other position players, but we've got some really good, I think, well-rounded info to attack this draft with. We lose this game to the Nationals, but Eury Perez once again was able to go pretty deep into his outing. No runs, 6 innings. We lose the game, of course. Second to last, scouting, and Kevin Guzman just jumped up to 4th on our board. High ceiling, power first baseman. That has my attention. That's all he can play. First base or DH. Could have a very nice ceiling. So if he's actually 4th on our board, this leads me to believe that he's probably going to end up being out of reach then with even number 39. But if he slips, good option to have there. Freddy Krueger, 32 on our board. Contact is good. Power is pretty low. I think I have enough information here to kind of have an idea of his value. I'm scouting another third baseman. This is Cyrus Lynch. Potential showing 73 to 87. We'd hope his overall would be fairly high as he's 22 years old, but he's another very high power prospect. And we can apparently get him entirely scouted. And then just looking for anything that really stands out here, Jose Andino, 22 years old. Can we trust the 85 to 99 potential? I'm not sure. But I'm intrigued enough to scout here with Week 13 coming to an end. The Royals have acquired Mason Miller. Wow, that's a big move for them. 2.08 ERA, had 29 strikeouts in 30 innings. Big move for Kansas City. We've seen some relievers get traded here. We've at least realized some have been traded today. And we've made it to July. We are approaching draft day now, just a little bit away. I feel really good about the number 1 pick and everything setting up for the draft. I keep checking on Druw Jones' numbers, and the average now sinking to 211, but +7 power against lefties. That's massive. And I feel like if a guy is going to get a big jump, like there's only so much development they're going to get in the majors. At the bigs, you have the chance that you could be surprised by some things. So, yeah, as expected, a fair amount of offers recently. But let's see if we can get him some hits here in a game against the Cincinnati Reds. Reds having a pretty good stretch, and they have Luis Arraez. 49 and 37. Sandy takes the mound. It's his 18th start. And we'll jump into this game. 2-0 Cincinnati. But 2 on here for Druw Jones. Just missed it there. A changeup. Timing was pretty good. 3-1. Ruiz on deck. He has no homers on the year. Full count. And good fastball in. Delayed reaction, strike 3. Here's Ellie with 21 homers, 68 RBIs. Reds already up 2-0. And this one is going to test Jones. Heading back. And, okay, too early. I thought that was going to give me a better indication of when it would land. Can they create like a home run robbing minigame so you can just get more reps rather than once every like 17 games? 5-4 game as we jump ahead to the 6th inning. Under this one on a slider up. Jones retired. Hit the other way. That's going to be extras. Jones flies around first. And he'll leg out a stand-up double here in the 8th inning. Marlins down 1. Jones trying to be that one. Really, I've hit both of his doubles. Wouldn't have expected he only had a couple. Here is Ruiz trying to bring him home. Grounded. Tough play at third. And somehow the play made getting the speedy Ruiz. We're going to go bottom 9. And the Reds are making a change. And they insert Josh Staumont into the game. Marlins trying to rally. And man, that was a good pitch to hit. That's wasted. Wouldn't expect to see Otto Lopez having a 3-run homer. And now underneath it. And that's popped up and will end the game. Marlins again down just 1. But that gap in the last place standings continues to widen between us and the Nationals. Was looking pretty good for a while, that we might kind of just be like a regular old bad team. But we've had a really rough episode. Here we have a tie game. We're about to hit our last day of scouting. So let's finish off this game against the Red Sox and get everything set up to do the draft next episode. We have a tie game here in the 8th. Agustin Ramirez. Under it. Lazy fly ball that will take us to the 9th, still tied. I'm putting in Jesus Tinoco. I mean, these numbers are unbelievable. 46th appearance. He should be an all-star. He was in line for that when we checked on it last episode. David Hamilton leading things off here for the Red Sox. And he pops it up on the infield. Connor Norby will locate it eventually. What a pitch from Tinoco. Trevor Story hitting 183. Maybe not the guy you want to be facing here to get things on track again. Tapped it. Lopez charges. Makes the play. And the one and only Rafael Devers now hitting 300. No slumping here. Got him chasing one there. Just off on the heater that time. Try to keep this under the zone, and that's exactly where I wanted it. Eventually, Devers draws the walk on pitch number 10. And that's popped up. Norby into his dugout, and he can walk right down the stairs, and does. That was kind of cool. So Tinoco's in line for a win if we can walk off Boston. I get a little extra motivation when a guy pitches well and you want to give him a win. So Zach Kelly stays on. Dane Myers said he was playing first base today. Myers ground ball. It's an easy play. And Druw Jones has, I think, his first big league triple in this game, and he's driven in our only run. Oh, come on, the sweeper in. That was a good swing. And then take the fastball there, strike 3. Under it now. Man, we have just done nothing with great pitches throughout the episode. Let's go play extras. Who we going to this time? I'll put in Dylan Coleman. Of course I will. He's been tough on lefties, and Eury Perez leads off. High drive towards center. I think with 34 speed, you can get to third base on that. The cutoff will be well late, and Abreu does his job. Connor Wong. Can Coleman work out of this at-bat now without that run scoring? There's that big slurve on display. And then he throws one to the backstop. Get it together here, Coleman. Wow, way ahead of it, and he missed his spot. What a break for Dylan Coleman. Into center. Hill makes the catch, and we'll try to win this thing now in 10. At second base, we will have really good speed, and we'll see if we can bunt him over. Danny Coulomb. We get it down. Oh, okay. I thought that was going to work better. That's Marlins baseball here in Season 2. And Ruiz, man. How many pop-ups here on good swings are we going to have? And we'll get Emilio Pagan in there. 15 for 18 on save tries. To right. You can advance on that, just like they did in the 10th inning. Roman Anthony now is going to bat in the 9 spot. So here's in real life, the top prospect really in baseball. They put down the bunt. Oh, man, they still make this mistake. The AI still tries to put on that squeeze play, and they don't have that runner hold when it doesn't work out. I wish they'd take that out. Strike 3 on Anthony. It's a very quick top half. Lamont Wade. Nope, that bunt didn't do it either. Can we just win it the old-fashioned way then? Connor Norby's at the plate. 14 homers on the year. He's driven in 46. Grounded right to the shortstop. Not what I had in mind. Now to the 12th inning. Pagan strikes out David Hamilton. And then can't find a strike here against Trevor Story. Intentionally walked Devers is the advice we get. I'll take that advice. Loading the bases for Christian Campbell now. A lot of great young prospects here in the Red Sox organization. You gotta be kidding me. Christian Campbell grand slam. And it's 5-1 Red Sox. Just his second homer of the year. It is not a good time with this team right now. Druw Jones out to left. An easy play. And the Red Sox take this game from us. It was tough with some of these at-bats in this game, man. The team is just in really rough form right now, and that was a very winnable game. 10th or 11th inning could have gotten it done. Cyrus Lynch, 77 to 82 potential. That's a nice range for a guy that is really focused on power. Third baseman / first. Not great defensively and not great at much other than hitting the ball long. Then we get Jose Andino, 90 to 95 potential, but still 112 on our board. So probably a player with a very low starting point, very, long wait to get to the show. If I want to take him late, though, he should have good potential. We'll also get all of our starting pitching scouting done here. So all these pitchers now 100%. Good info on Gerald O'Connell, John Grant. We've had that information. But now to have some more options maybe with that second pick, like Michael Kirby, where he is, but that overall starting point could be extremely low. And for our final scouting, we're going to get a little more info here on Damian Kaufman. I just don't like how wide that range is. We're going to scout first baseman Joe Brown, who has 59 to 93 potential, projected to have excellent plate vision. And then a closer. He is 55 on our board, projected to have 85 to 99 potential. He's a 4-year college player. And if we could find like a rock solid closer here outside of the first round, I'm really interested here in Chris Clements. So I have our pitching scout focused on him for session 14. And that is going to end the scouting season for year 2. And next time we will get to the MLB draft, go through the All-Star break, and I imagine see all the ratings again for those players and set up the plan then for the last couple months, which probably won't be more than an episode or two as we get some more players' chances to play and just track the development for this roster. Paying very close attention to Druw Jones right now, as I am worried about some of these numbers pulling back a little, but I think so far the experiment has been worth it. We could also be getting to the trade deadline. I mean, there are a lot of big things that could be happening here in the next episode. I can't believe that we might not have Sandy in the All-Star game. Why did he slide so far down the voting? He's right next to Braxton Garrett, oddly enough. But Jesus Tinoco has almost 100,000 more votes than any other reliever. That's incredible. 65 of the best reliever innings so far in the first half. That's a lot of development for a 30-year-old relief pitcher. And as of right now, I think he's the only player that's really in line to be an all-star. Our only guy being a reliever would be really funny, especially a reliever that just kind of came out of nowhere. Scoring runs was not a strength of ours today. We are the 27th ranked scoring offense in baseball. Nobody is hitting fewer home runs, but we have closed the gap now on the Chicago White Sox. While the team pitching ERA is now below average at 19th. Connor Norby leads us in homers with 14. Estieri Ruiz, 23 stolen bases. OPS leader Eric Wegeman in 23 at-bats, but out of everyday players, it is Xavier Edwards. I think the bullpen has kind of become a strength, though. Like, it's so much better than it was a year ago, and a lot of these guys, I think, are very reliable out of the pen. Here's Dylan Coleman now, 68 overall, 29 years old. But that is going to do it for today, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the episode. And next time, we're on to some big things in year 2. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and leave your thoughts on our draft and who we should take down below in the comments. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day, everybody.